Hey guys, wanted to go over this EOTech VUDU 5-25. There really isn't that much info online about it. Some of the original information videos on this scope are there. I just barely picked it up a few days ago. Picked it up in the morning right before I went to the range and decided to go ahead and test out the tracking on it. There's actually no info online really about the tracking of this scope. You can see it's a really short scope. It's 11.2 inches long, which is the reason that I wanted to get this. It's going on an AR of mine, and the optical quality isn't as good as some of the other ones in this price range. I can guarantee you that, but for the weight and the actual length of the scope, the value that you get is it's pretty good. Some people online are saying it's as good as razors and some of the night forces out there, but I have a razor and I have an Athlon Aries ETR, and this definitely is not in the same class of optical quality as those. You can see some of the chromatic aberration with this, even at 1,000 yards. If you're looking at a white target, you can definitely see some purple around the edges. For what I wanted, it's a great scope and it's a great value, and I'm very happy with it. Something that I really like, you don't need a tool to change your actual zero, so you can just unscrew this portion of the dial right here. And to change your actual zero, you just lift the turret off, adjust whatever you want, and then place your turret back on and simply just screw this back in. So once you have your zero stop set, you can adjust your zero based on any rifle you put it on, and it's just it feels really solid, feels really high quality. These hash marks in here really grip your fingers really well, so you don't really have an issue tightening or loosening these. Also, the Windage Adjustment, it's got a cap on it, you can take that off. This one does need an actual tool or coin or something to adjust this, but the same thing with the notches in it. It just grips your fingers really well. This scope has an H-59 reticle in it. I've been very happy with that reticle. I have that reticle or similar reticles, similar Christmas tree style reticles in my scopes, and I've grown accustomed to it. This thing does track fairly accurately. I will show you my homemade box to bench target that I put together. This is, like I said, this is my first time out to the range, so I only had hornady black ammo for it. The accuracy out of my rifle with the hornady black really was a little disappointing. I just put together the rifle, first time I ever shot it. I've been building it over the past few months, so it's going to take me a little bit to find box ammo that it shoots well. I do plan to reload, but I have been working a lot lately, so take this for what it's worth. I'm pretty happy with how the tracking test turned out, considering the group size I was getting with the ammo itself. As I get some ammo that shoots well out of my rifle, and as I reload some ammo that shoots well out of my rifle, I will put some more videos on here updating how the tracking actually does. But I was able to hit it 1,000 yards, no problem with this, with my 6.5 grendel. So, been very happy with it. Exactly the scope I wanted, short stubby scope. Great out. Here is my box to bench homemade target. The concept behind this is you make sure you draw a line perfectly level up and down, and then you draw two parallel lines, parallel and perfectly level with the horizon. So you need a level to make this at home. They do sell a box to bench, sells their targets. I think they're like $3 to $5 per target. The scopes I use are mils, so if you look up here, 1 mil at 100 yards is 3.6 inches, so 7 mils at 100 yards is 25.2 inches. So the concept is your point of aim is always going to be at the same spot during this test. I shot a 3-shot group, so you shoot 3 at here, you dial up 7 mils. This line up here is perfectly level with this line, and it's 25.2 inches above it. So the next group you shoot, your point of aim is still down here, but your shot should be hitting up here. So then after you shoot your group up there, then you dial back down 7 mils and you shoot another group here. So like I mentioned earlier, the ammo that I was using really wasn't that impressive to me. It was a Hornady black. I think it's 123 grain for the 6.5 Grendel. Over here, these black targets, these are just my 0 targets. This is the first cold bore shot that I shot. I don't know what the issue is. I'm gonna, tinker around with my rifle a little bit more. Like I said, this is the first time I took it out to the range. So with everything considered, you can see here the ones that are circled are the first 3 that I shot. Then I dialed up 7 mils. Those are the next 3, and then I dialed back down 7 mils, and then one's right on the line, one's right above, one's right below. So these group sizes aren't that great. I'm typically a half to 3/4 MOA shooter, depending on what the rifle can do. So me shooting these groups is I chalk up to the actual ammo itself shooting out of the rifle. But with all that considered, with the size of the groups I've been seeing dialing up 7 mils, I expect it to track perfectly or near perfect, which I'm happy with, as this is going to be a hunting rifle for me, and it's an 18-inch barrel, so it's not going to be a tack driver, bull barrel bench rest shooting rifle. It's going to be a hunting AR for myself. So I'm pleased with it so far. Like I said earlier, I plan to update as I find some ammo that shoots accurately out of my rifle, and I will post videos along the way.